When I bought my first home when I was 22, and I felt nervous. It's a stress inducer to buy a home. There's no way around it. Certainly, your first time doing anything, you're going to be more nervous. So that's part of the process if you're a first time home buyer. If you are not in too good a shape financially, or if you're borrowing money even for the down payment, buying a home is obviously going to be more stressful. And I struggle now at the age of 40, after selling my house a few years ago and hitting the road with the main objective to move down to Florida and to downsize. I believe I could cut my living expenses in half, even if I buy another home. And I still don't feel nervous, about getting ready to pull the trigger if I do this year. I would say the likelihood of me buying a home this year is greater than it's ever been. My 4 years on the road. Why? Well, because now I've been in Florida for a couple years. I have stabilized things in my life. Last year threw me for a little loop with the coronavirus where I had to unexpectedly go back to Jersey, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen with society. And so I go back to settling in here in Florida, and I think about the home base option, buying a home. And it's fun to shop around. It's great to shop around. It's great to have options. Options make you happy. Commitment makes you nervous. Pluto on the members only chat. What's up, brother? Sam, hey, gyms are back open in California. That just happened. I signed up with a gym today, and I don't have to take showers at work anymore. Well, congratulations. Yeah, I remember when I went back to New Jersey with the coronavirus, it took them a while to open up in New Jersey, but they opened up over the summer. And here in Florida, they've been opened, and that's part of the home based process, where you want to live, the politics of the state, the taxes of a state. That's to be honest. Look, that's one of the reasons why Florida is on my list to live. There's two reasons. One is the weather. To me, the weather is the first thing. I want to be in a climate where it's warm all year round and there's adequate sun and I'm by the beach. So that's my number one priority. When you're shopping for a house, your number one priority should be the climate, okay? Because you can't change that, okay? Like you can renovate your kitchen, or you can downsize or you can upsize, but you can't change the geographical location of a house. And I'm not just talking about like on a street. I'm talking about in a state, in a country. You can never change that. And I've often said, right, if Florida didn't exist, I would probably look at Southern California next. And those states have two different politics. Now, I prefer the politics of Florida, which has a lot of freedom, no state income tax, and I like it. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I tend to vote progressive, but I'm also not against conservative policy if they make sense. So I would not want to move to California. Why? Because I don't like mountains. I like flat land. I like tropical environment, not Mediterranean environment. And I definitely don't like the politics of California. I just don't. It's just the way it is. So I would say that you have to think that out, right? Because, again, you can't really change that. And that's part of the culture too. It's part of the vibe. I mean, you can never make Texas have the Atlantic Ocean. Arizona will never have any ocean. Now, if you like the mountains, then that start when you're nervous about something. Start with, where do you want to live as far as the climate? Now, here's the thing: if climate change is real, okay, if climate change is real, which it's debatable, technically by the science, the data, the Earth has warmed over the past 100 years, and the sea levels have rised a few inches, or an inch or so, or a foot or so. I'm not sure. It's rise some. But we don't know, because we don't have data since the beginning of the earth, if that is a continuing trend up or if it's going to just cycle through, like you have the ice ages or whatever. We don't know. But one thing I have to think about, because you have to think about it when you're buying a house by the ocean, is climate change or storms or whatever. But I say to myself, well, guys, if Florida doesn't exist, the whole world goes into tailspin, right? So it's like we kind of learned that with the coronavirus. If you're nervous buying by the ocean because a hurricane may wipe it out, it may, or if global warming may come, it may. There's going to be a whole government subsidy. I remember when I had friends who lost their home in Hurricane Sandy, which was in New Jersey, and it wiped out their house on the Jersey Shore. They had to wait, but the government gave them money for repairs or replacement of the home. So, like if Florida does go into the sea, if there is global warming in my lifetime, and I'm already 40 years old, average life expectancy is 80. So whether it happens in the next 40 years, I doubt it, but it could happen. Look, I get a subsidy, okay? Everyone just got a stimulus. I can get a stimulus. I get a subsidy for my the home base that'll be underwater. Now, where would I go live? I'd probably have to go to California. Why? That's the only other place that has the ocean and warm weather all year round. And it'd be Southern Cal, not Northern Cal. Marcel, thanks for the heads up, bro. That means my Planet Fitness job this summer is a go. Yeah, I would definitely say, look, if you're young with no kids and you can responsibly move and secure a job, look and never turn back. Here's what's going to happen, though, Marcel. You're coming from the UK, you're going to come to America. That's a lot of distance. And emotionally, after a certain time period here, you're going to miss home and your family. Now, that's a fact, in my opinion. that's a contradiction, but in my experience, that's probably what's going to happen. It's what happens to most people. But then this is what also happens with me and with most people. You go back because you think you're missing something, and you realize you're not missing anything. Never go back to the state you grew up if you don't love it. Because what I found is people move back and now they can never move again. So what I want to tell you is this. You're better off to die in a tsunami or an earthquake in California than go back to the UK and die as a high school teacher and watch the same shit you watched since you were young. An uninspiring life in an uninspiring town, and you might as well marry someone you went to high school with. You don't love them, but there's no one else around to fit your fucking boring life. What are we talking about tonight? Well, I'll tell you this. That you have to be willing to not just buy a home, but live in an area that inspires you. Because a home is just a sticks and bricks or a concrete pad or a car. It brings me joy to see palm trees and bikinis. You should have saw the ass cheeks I saw today. The sun, the palm trees, the tropical smoothie I drank. So what I want to tell you is this. Never listen to anyone that says Four Seasons is good. That's why I stayed here. They didn't stay there. They stayed there because their whole life was fucking, they didn't take the promotion. They didn't change their state. They didn't take the risk. Now, some people take too much risk and not enough stability, and then that's why they end up back too. So I tell you, secure your bag, secure your job, move. Don't buy a home in an area until you live there for 2 years. Then go back, visit your family, visit the place you grew up, realize that is not where you want to die, and then get the fuck back out of Dodge, okay? And live where you want to live. Because you recognize as an adult, you're an adult now, okay? And your parents, okay, they're the opposite now. They're your child, okay? That's what happens in life, guys. Okay? And look, you got to live your life, okay? You're not responsible for anyone else as an adult. If you are, then you might as well be an indentured servant, okay? And if you don't have kids, you're only responsible for you. I said to myself today, I sometimes can't understand the lazy, lethargic mind, but I'm not mad at it if someone has no kids and they don't got no kids, fuck it. You want to be lazy? I think you're destroying your life. I think you're wrong, but fucking take a nap. Go ahead. Okay. So what I want to tell you is this. If you don't have a family, you don't really need to buy a house. Okay, it's true. That's why I don't rush. What am I rushing for? However, there is a need in life, okay, to, after a period of time, to have a level of stability if you really love that area. But you don't really need to buy. I mean, I learned that dating a MILF. I don't know what got in me. I felt like I had to go steady with her. And that fucked up everything. Okay. Renting is fun. Not being responsible is fun. You don't get any equity. Well, guys, you don't get any money on your house till you sell it. You never get. If I buy a house now, I'll probably never get the money back. When am I going to sell? You know, am I going to sell again, then move again? Guys, I'm going to die in Florida. Okay. That's it for me. Again, you got to figure out, where do you want to die? You want to die in New Jersey? You want to die in Pennsylvania? You want to die in California? Do you want to die where it's sunny, or do you want to die where it's cloudy? Do you want to die in a third world country because it has good currency exchange? Or do you want to die in a first world country, okay, where even if you don't work, guys, you get stimulus? Where do you want to live? Anxiety and nerves are a real thing. Emotions are a real thing for a human. And buying a home, like any big purchase, is an emotional decision. And like every emotion, you need to discipline it. And you need to refine it. You need to let it bleed out. Like I said, don't buy a home till you lived in that area for 2 years. Don't buy a home until you sold your current home. And look at the square footage. Look at the property taxes. Look at the insurance. Look at the entry and exit point of the property. Pluto, rent is fun, but this month I spent $1,600 on a car rental for the next 36 days, but I'm free and flexible. Well, like I told you, I think that is a mistake over a long period of time. I think renting a car, for even when you were renting it for $1,000 a month, I told you it was a mistake, because it's good for the beginning, the transition, but that's way too high, because the average car payment is $500 a month. And if you know you're going, that's too high. So there's no way you can slice that, So I think you should just buy a car, but it's your money. That's my opinion. Oh, $5 super chat. Child of C. Society demonizes being over 30 and living in an apartment. Yeah, they did, just like society demonized people who were single with no kids. I got a couple big chicks still do that, but they know they fucked up, okay? They should have never had kids. Kids destroyed their life. And bottom line is, now they got to watch me fucking have a good time in Florida. So they could kick rocks. But society, we are in the new society, guys. The baby boomers are dying by the day, even with the coronavirus being behind us now, basically. And I love the baby boomers. I don't want my mom to die. She's part of that group. No disrespect to a few of the baby boomers that watch my channel. But guys, new generation is taking over. And the new generation said, look, you want to be a transgender? We don't care. You want to live in an apartment? We don't care. You want to DoorDash? We don't care. You want to work remotely and push buttons and never swing a hammer? We don't care. You want to vote Republican, Democrat? We don't care. Okay. Bottom line is, we about to run shit. Okay, we are running shit. Okay. Guys, Biden is basically just in to usher the next generation. That's all he's doing. Because Trump, was trying to destroy it. That's it. Step your ass down. Look, all Biden is, guys, he is the walking dead to usher in the next generation. And so, like we told Biden, just walk around, we got it. Okay. And what I can tell you is, guys and girls, the current life, we are in a new society where home ownership is not necessarily the American dream. Having a wife and 2 kids is very much not the American dream. The American dream, okay, is being able, okay, to work remotely, not have kids, be an independent woman, be a man, be a transgender, maybe have a pet, maybe have no pets, have a YouTube channel, make money, do gig economy, make money, whatever. And that's the bottom line. Now, some people can't handle it. And bottom line, doesn't matter what they can handle. It matters what you can handle. If you can't handle a house, don't have a house. If you can't handle a house, don't have a house. I think about that for myself. Sabrina, I barely ever see you. I can't believe you're still a member. You don't need to be. You've been gracious to me. I look at Sabrina, Chaz, a few of my original members. I can't believe you're still here. Sabrina, your life is your own unless you have kids. I agree with that. Or a significant other. Also agree with that. If you ain't feeding me, financing, or fucking me, I'm at this. I don't care what anyone thinks. Sabrina for the win. Sabrina, you haven't been here a long time and you're still on fire. Thank you, thank you, and thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. Shout out to Louisiana. Sabrina's from Louisiana. What I can tell you is this. If she wants to move to California, she can do it. If she wants to move to Idaho, she can do it. If she wants to move to Florida, she can do it. Why? Because she's living in 2021, where a woman doesn't have to be married. Okay. And she can live a great life. Okay. And if she wants to be married, great. I'm not mad. Now, again, this channel will not be about marriage. This channel will not be about children. This channel is either very much still trying to decide if it's going to be about a home base, because it still makes me nervous, but I want to be fair. It also makes me a little bit nervous now living on the road, and I kind of feel like the winds are shifting. Not in society, but necessarily, even though I do think the nomadic movement is on the tail end, not the upswing. I just feel like my goals and what I'm trying to accomplish are mainly done. I value flexibility at a high level, and that's why I am nervous about buying a home. I want to have a lot of flexibility in my life. I know I give up some. But like Pluto, I told him that, after a certain amount of time, it doesn't make sense to stay flexible if you're spending more than it's worth. Now, do I think I would spend more renting or nomading or buying a home? Well, I think I'll probably spend more buying a home, even in a long term, because again, you don't make money on a house till you sell it. And I've even if I stay as a nomad and had a cheap travel trailer, I could figure out how to live cheap, but the quality of life would not be as good because I'm going to be in campgrounds or stealth parking. I'm not going to be in like a little gated community by the beach. So, that's what kind of makes me overcome the nervousness. Like, at this point, let's go back. Love comments, guys. Thank you, everyone. Keep going forward, Marcel. You're doing the right thing. Love you, man. Marcel, I'm thinking of staying in a room and living close to work without a car, keeping expenses to a minimum. My grandmother, who came here from Italy, said her biggest mistake was not getting a car. Not getting her driver's license, actually. Why? Because she missed out on her independence and being able to freely move around. So I recommend for your first time coming to America or just coming to America, period, I would get a car. Why? I think you want to explore. I don't think you want to come to America, go from your apartment to Planet Fitness or whatever gym you're going to be a personal trainer at, and that's like the only two things you see. Now, now here's the new part of society again. That is different than previous generations. You can Uber everywhere. You could Uber everywhere. And that may work for you. So that's an option. Would that work for me? No, I like to be in a driver's seat. But that's an option. Pluto, it's a mistake, but still below my means. Well, that's all that counts. Laughing out loud, but I hear you. Yeah, no, look, if it's below your means and if it's a tax write-off for your business, it may make some sense. But again, you don't want to run your business for tax write-offs. You want to run your business for net profit. Obviously, you want to utilize tax write-offs, but the goal of having a business is more cash flow, more net profit. And renting a car for $1,600, that's a mortgage. I don't know how that can benefit you financially, whether from cash flow or even from a net worth perspective. I think the risk-reward ratio is too not in your favor, even with a lot of flexibility, because you're basically paying for a house every month. Now, yes, you don't have to pay for it next month, but what are you going to do next month? Like, if you see for the next 3 months, 4 months, a year that you're going to need a car every month, you might as well buy one. And for me, what I see, as much as I feel nervous about buying a home in Florida, I see myself for the next 3 years, next 3 months, next 30 years living in Florida and only leaving in September and or October during hurricane season. So I don't see myself, unless there was an emergency like last year with the coronavirus, wanting to go traveling outside of Florida. I don't want to go to Jersey Shore in the summer. I don't want to go through South Carolina, North Carolina, Washington. I don't. So that's what kind of makes me not be too nervous. So, but everyone's on a different journey. Great to see you again, Sabrina. Dan Diamond, what's up, man? Shout out to the Palm Coast of Florida. I'm only paying, $375 a month. I split a home on a golf course with my best friend. I have freedom, my studio, and I'm going to ride it till it ends. That's cheap as hell, man. That's like a trap house, man. That's cheap. But if you're splitting it with someone and it's on a golf course in a nice area, that's wisdom. And that's why I am fair. Like, I do think if I was budget conscious, that I would probably do better to rent. For me, in my personal circumstance. So why buy? Well, I won't have as much control if I rent. And when I say rent, that could or cannot include like just campgrounds or, renting a place in the summer to get out of the heat. It doesn't have to be necessarily renting a house or something. So that's something I'm considering still. And especially too, there are some write-offs I could take advantage of with the YouTube thing, whether staying at campgrounds or whatever. So I said to myself, do I really want to buy a house just for the sake of buying it? I got to think a little bit more. Dan, I like the freedom. That's the biggest value of renting. There's a lack of responsibility. The biggest burden of homeownership is responsibility. So, if the HOA has a disagreement, that's an emotional thing. If your neighbor, if you live in a single family home and they have a dog that comes on your property because they don't have a leash, that's something you got to deal with. I mean, it's like you can't just have that thing in your mind when you own that you can just go. When you rent, even though you're not going to like some stuff, you can just go. So, that is something mentally. That's a fair point. Adam, good evening, Sam. Adam, great to see you, brother. Love to you. I hope you're doing well. Keep pushing forward. Love to your family, man. Marcel, it's true. My grandparents, pre-boomers, believed strongly in marriage. Yeah, they fell for the banana in a tailpipe. By the time they were my age, they had married. Yep, fell for the banana in a tailpipe. That's how they survived. Guys, remember, America only within the past 100 years have become basically a first world country. Previously, everyone in America was a farmer. That's a third world country. And you had more kids to survive, to tend the farm and take care of you. There was no Social Security 100 years ago. The Great Deal happened, I think, after the Great Depression in the 1929, 1930s. Guys, 100 years ago, in 1921, America didn't even have garbage collection. You just throw your shit in the street, okay? So you don't understand that having kids was a means of survival. And marriage was a means of keeping society from becoming anarchy. Okay. And so even though I'm not saying there's not value in it, it's also a level of population preservation and control. So what are we going to do if we don't have kids? Well, guys, one is we got robots taking over. Okay, we got the awareness that we're all going to die anyway. And there's already enough people on the earth to cycle out 300 years. So what I can tell you is this. The older generation, just like we will be looked at as the older generation in about 20 years. I'm 40 now. When I'm 60, 70, 80, I'm going to be the older generation. I will die. And the generation that comes after me, they're going to say, this guy was barking at his phone in an all-night gas station. Now, I'm driving around, in a spacecraft, getting, I don't know, getting head from a girl on the electrical charging station in Boca Raton. Now, Boca Raton is an island. It's because of, climate change happened. Everyone's living like the Jetsons. You say, hold on, I'm in my 80s. I thought the Jetsons was going to happen in my lifetime. Well, you missed out. You're going to die, and we're going to see the Jetsons. Okay. So, what I want to tell you is this, guys. I didn't make this timetable. This is just the way life unfolded. Okay. And so, all I can tell you is this. Time is the ultimate change agent for humans. That's what Steve Jobs said, and I agree. That no matter how much money, no matter how much you think you are that important, time just passes. And if you don't believe me, think about this time last year. We were in the depths of the coronavirus. And if you don't believe me, think about this time 100 years ago. We were a third world country in America. People didn't have equal rights. People didn't have good paying jobs. If you were unemployed, there was no stimulus. There wasn't shit. You threw your shit on the street corner and no one came to pick it up. Now, guys, everyone has rights. Everyone has stimulus, okay? And everyone, okay, is sitting there watching YouTube and just chilling. Probably fucking took a nap. Okay. So what I can tell you is this. Should you feel nervous about buying a home? Guys, that's small potatoes compared to what life used to be like. Okay. Fucking small potatoes. Right, let's go back. Let me take hydration break. Yeah, I don't know. 100 years ago, I wouldn't be broadcasting live from a gas station. There was barely any gas stations. There was barely any cars. 100 years ago, guys, people were riding horses. That's all I tell you, guys. You think that we're far off for some Tesla Jetson shit, you're wilding. Because what I can tell you is this, guys. we get into the future. Back live comments. Adam, sorry I'm late to the chat. That's all right. I'm still working right now, putting in a long day. There you go, brother. Hopefully had a positive day. Overall, my day was very positive. Thank you, brother. It's great to have you in here. We love you. We appreciate you. I hope I didn't miss anyone. Let me just double check. Sabrina, I'm so happy to have you here tonight. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, so Sabrina's up. Sam, have you picked a particular city? Yes. Or country in Florida? I've picked a particular area. Yes, good question. To settle down a house? Well, it's questionable if I'm going to get a house. It's more likely RV lot or, I don't know, mobile home lot. Because I do want to be by the beach. And buying a single family house, I mean, like on the beach, by the beach, very hard. To be in a decent price range. So, however, I have found some little bungalows, not exactly on the beach, that would be considerable. I don't think I will go back to a condo or apartment, but, I'm keeping all options open. But I would say I'm leaning more towards the RV lot because I like the idea is if I get an RV lot, I don't have to get any hurricane insurance, no flood insurance, nothing. If a hurricane comes, even if I keep a cheap travel trailer on there anchored to the ground, the losses are whatever the $10,000, $15,000 cost of a cheap travel trailer. So that's kind of my thought process this time. Let me continue to read your comment. But the location is key, you're right. If so, why? I'm sorry, let me keep continuing. She goes, I found the location, yep. If so, why did you pick it? Okay. As you decide to stay nomad travel trailer, what will... hold on, Sabrina. We got a super chat. $5 super chat from Hawkeye. Hey, Sam. California versus Florida. Which do you think is better? Florida. Florida has better beaches. It's tropical. California, if you like mountains, if you like a cooler climate, and if you don't like green, lush landscaping. So, it's like California is more laid back. The West Coast is more laid back. It's... again, and it's got the mountains. I don't like laid back, guys. I like high intensity. I like tropics. Okay, I like Southeast Florida. I like living a vida loca. I don't like hang loose, dude. I don't like that, man. I like fucking juiced up. So But I love Pluto. I love my man Marcel. I love people that I love Big Plan Dan. He loves San Diego. Not me. I like Southeast Florida. So Florida's surrounded by ocean. California has ocean only on one side. And it's close to the desert. It's not really like lush landscaping. So for me, Florida for the win. I mean, if I didn't know I wanted to live in Florida, I wouldn't even be considering buying a home. So my opinion, Hawkeye, is Florida, but that's just my opinion. Everyone should live wherever they want. Good question. Back to Sabrina. She has some good questions here. She goes, she asked me, I found the location I liked. And then she goes, if so, why did you pick it? As if you decide to stay a nomad travel trailer, will that change where you settle? I decided to pick the area I picked because it's close to the ocean, number one priority. It's by populated areas, but there's enough room to spread out. So I'm not looking at like downtown Miami, nothing like that. And I got a feel for the energy, the culture, and the vibe of the area after now pretty much being in Florida for 3 years. So I kind of know that each town, each city has a different energy. The only way to know that is to be here, to experience it, and to get the feel. So through that experience of 3 years, pretty much, that I kind of figured out what works best for my personality and geographically. Now, what I have to consider is if I lose my main job, I also looked into areas with regards to being able to get another job. But with the coronavirus, the one good thing it did, it made a lot of IT work remote that really was not as much available prior. Also, I know the areas if I needed to DoorDash where they're at, close to the home base. I know certain areas that have office work if I needed to go where they're at. And I've built up enough side revenue that I think I can handle worst case scenario. So with all those things considered, I kind of figured out if I buy property here and the bottom falls out, would I still be okay? I could survive several things. I mean, obviously, if things got bad enough, no one can survive. But I calculate if I lost my job, I calculate if a hurricane comes, I calculate even if we have global warming. The bottom line is, if I lose my job, I got enough side hustles, and I know the area well enough that I think I'd be able to get another job and maintain the house expenses. If we have a hurricane, if I only get an RV lot, the only thing I would be vulnerable to is if the community close to me got damaged, and if I was part of an HOA, there would probably be some type of an assessment, but I wouldn't have any insurance. And the third thing is, if global warming happens and Florida totally collapsed, there's going to be some type of government support just like it was during the coronavirus, because it would totally change America. So, it's like that's, it's, and if it gets to that point, I don't want to just live somewhere else because I'm scared of that. I mean, then let it change America, then I'll change at that point. But I don't think that would. So I'm able to work through the worst case scenarios, I think. And that's what kind of makes me overcome some of the nerves. Let me keep reading. Now, if I stay a nomad, it's going to probably be the Kia Niro plug-in. I'm thinking because I'm going to go hybrid with a plug-in electric option. Why? Because I'm going to solve climate control, and I'm going to have an electric plug-in to solve some stealth camping. And the Kia Niro plug-in also has a towing capacity of 2,800. Because if I stay as a nomad and I get that hybrid plug-in electric vehicle, I'm also going to have an exit strategy. If I got sick on the road, I throw a tow hitch on it, and I get a cheap travel trailer, a Braxton Creek solo-free travel trailer. It's about 2,000 pounds. I'll probably just get the 1,000 Trails Camping Pass again and just stay in Florida until September, go back up north for 2 months and come back down south. And then in the winter, it's going to be a little bit challenging if I have a travel trailer renting a place. But initially, when I get if I stay as a nomad and I go hybrid electric vehicle, I'm not going to get a travel trailer initially. I'm going to try to do the stealth camping with the hybrid plug-in, see if I like it, if it's worth it, because I'm still young enough to do it. And if that works out, I'll just keep doing that for a while until I find the next thing. And like I say, if that doesn't work out, then I'll put a tow hitch on it, do a travel trailer, and then keep looking for a home base. So I may not ever buy property again. I don't know. It's like I worry about that too. I say to myself, do I really ever want to own? And part of me says no. But part of me says no. So I don't know about that. I'm still trying to work that out. Back live comments. Love to you guys. We got 82 people watching. Thank you. Thank you to my members. Thank you, Hawkeye, Child C, for the super chats. You want to be a member, click that blue join button. Shout out to everyone out there. Marcel. Dan Diamond. Damn, that sounds awesome. I would be hard pressed to find a place for that price here in Europe. You're talking about, yeah, I don't even know how Dan Diamond found that, because, well, Palm Coast is a little bit cheaper than South Florida. Palm Coast is a nice area. I like Flagler Beach. I like Palm Coast. And you probably could, I don't know about finding a place on the golf course for, he's splitting it, so he's living with someone else. For me, to live with someone else is a deal breaker, but that's just my personality. But if you had a home for $375 a month, especially if you're on a budget, I would live with someone else if I had to. Even if you doubled that, even if it was, like $900, guys, well, I wouldn't want to live with someone else if I'm paying $900 a month. So that's too much. But do what you need to do when you need to do it. But you can certainly rent your entire life. And as a single person with no kids, you'd make out fine. If you have a family, it's a different story. Okay. So, but again, my channel is mainly not about having a family. I don't like kids. I don't like families. Most people are fucking miserable. There's a few exceptions. Okay. But most people are fucking miserable. And the only reason they watch my channel, they want out of their misery. And they're empty nesters, or they're divorcers, or they are old and they don't want to talk to their spouse, so they watch me. And you think about it, who would be in a healthy, happy marriage with kids at 7, 8 o'clock at night watching me? You should be taking care of your family, okay? So, guys, stay single, no kids. Let's take out break. But thank you for watching. Sweat my ass off, guys. I'm in Florida. 80 people watching. Shout out to you. Back left comments. Dan, at Marcel. It's a great deal. That is a good deal. Roberto, what's up, man? Roberto, great to see you, man. Shout out to all my nomads. Shout out to you. Roberto, good to see you, man. Also a Floridian, I believe. Hawkeye, thank you again, brother. Yeah, for me, it's Florida. Sabrina says, I love Hollywood, Florida. Hollywood, Florida, it has some nice areas. It's very congested. It's just north of Miami. Big Haitian population in Hollywood, Florida. Hollywood, Florida is okay, but it's too congested. I wouldn't want to live there. It's a tourist spot too. So for me, I know someone now that lives in Hollywood, Florida, and they're moving up about an hour north because it's too congested. So, but again, it's a good area as far as, like, it's right by the beach. It's close to Miami. But it's very congested, and you're going to either be in a high-rise apartment. You're probably going to be in a high-rise condo, because the single-family homes in Hollywood, Florida are very expensive, and you don't get a lot for your money. So you either really got to have a lot of money, or you got to want to live in an apartment or a condo, and you have to like the crowded, touristy type areas. So that's what that's what that whole energy is about down there in Hollywood. Love to you, Sabrina. Dan, that's Sabrina. I've been to the rooftop resort, laughing out loud. Sabrina, I haven't been there in years, Dan. Dan, that's Sabrina. Yeah, been a few years. Yeah, last time I've been there was probably about 2 years ago. Yeah, those are my overall impressions of it. Not for me. But you only know that through visiting, and again, don't buy anything until you visited an area, because life is different on Realtor.com, on Zillow.com, on YouTube.com. Life is different on the screen versus in real life. For you, as an individual with your individual personality, with your individual energy, with your individual needs. You have to experience things for yourself. And until you can experience them from yourself, and until you're sure of yourself, rent or nomad or whatever you're going to do. And again, if you're single with no kids, there's no pressure to buy, and, even as I talk this out, it's like I think about that. I think about the stress that buying induces. Now, the only time that it's not that bad, I don't know, man. Like, even if I buy below my means, there's an anxiety about commitment. I have that in me, that there's an anxiety I get. It's just who I am. I've learned that over time. However, I've also learned that, just not committing for this. Well, I don't know. I'm not even going to say it. I'm just saying, like, you have to think about everything. Like what Pluto was talking about. Like, if you're going to rent a car for $1,600 a month, that would give me more anxiety over a long period of time than buying a home base. Because again, for $1,600 a month, if I knew I was gonna need a car for the next year and a half, I would not be renting a car for $1,600. I rather buy a car and buy a house, because but that's just me, But what am I actually doing? I don't own a house. I own a car. I've done fine for 4 years without a house. The 15 years I owned a house, was I happy? It was definitely a good experience, because I needed to get out of my mom's house. I needed to develop as a person. You got to move out on your own if you have the physical and mental ability. You got to. And I'm glad I did that. I'm grateful for the help. At times I probably didn't manage my money. So it's hard to compare my first home ownership experience, because I was 22. Even though I was working, I was making money. I had an expensive place, and I had expensive things, and I was in that rat race mentality for a while. And I was still young and immature, not managing my money properly. So now I'm different. I'm a middle-aged man. I've learned to live within my means. I've continued to develop my career. I didn't slow down in that. And so now I look at it as home ownership would probably be a little bit different this time around. One is I kind of understand. And anytime you do something once, you understand the process better. Two is I understand life better, because I'm 20 years older. I know what I want more. I'm not rushing. I'm not desperate. Desperate decisions are very bad. And so that does kind of calm some of my nervous feelings, because the more knowledge you have, the more experience you have, you tend to overcome some of the fear. But there still is the fear there. There's like, you can never get around certain anxieties, right? But you can, through talking them out, through the knowledge, through the experience, through the wisdom, not rushing, you can work it out to where you can accept a level of commitment and a level of responsibility. But, it's still something that it takes serious thought. Okay, 95 people watching Love to You out there. What I want to tell you is this. I picked tonight's topic based on how I actually feel. And when in doubt, show up, focus your energy and focus your thoughts on what you are going through. And that will get you very far in life. Just the simple thing of showing up and focusing your energy. And in your personal space, talk out what you're trying to accomplish. What am I trying to accomplish? I want to live by the beach till the day I die. I want to live in Florida till the day I die. I want to have air conditioning in the summer until the day I die. And I probably do want a little bit more stability. I want to know, like, if I get sick or as I get older, I want to know that, I'm not going to, get in a car wreck or, God forbid, go to the hospital and someone say, well, where's your home? Where do you live? We'll take you there. We'll drive you there, and I'm like, well, take me to the hotel. I mean, not that that would be a big deal, but, I don't want to live on the road, though, just for the sake of living on the road, My whole purpose to get on the road was to accomplish cutting my bills in half and getting to Florida. That's it. Now, I don't want to settle just for the sake of settling. I have found tremendous freedom in the nomadic life. And I really do feel that if I don't buy a home, as long as my health would maintain itself, and as long as the local jurisdictions didn't do any crazy things with regards to cracking down on certain spots or campground fees going extremely high, then I feel like I could live as a nomad for 20 more years, definitely into my 60s, without a problem, even without an RV. So, it's there's no one thing that is just a clear answer. The answer is go back to why I started. Okay, cut my bills in half. So I'm trying to make sure that I remember that when I buy something, my bills, when I lived in New Jersey and I owned a house, my house mortgage payment, my taxes, my insurance, my utility bills, everything equaled about $2,500 a month. Okay, just house expenses. So I want to, be $1,200 a month or under. Now, then I had a 30-year mortgage. If I get a mortgage here, it's going to probably be a 10-year mortgage. If I RV lot, that's the longest they'll give it on that. If a house, then I'll probably do the 30 just to get a lower payment. But I'm looking at $150,000 or under if I buy. I really wouldn't want to spend over that because I want to be positioned well enough that, again, if I have some type of career change or something, that I'm not desperate. You have to stay away from that. And I want to be able to be independent. I don't want to have to go borrow money from someone. I don't want to have to leave a home that I built. And I don't want to feel nervous about living in my home that, oh my God, if something happens, I'm going to be destitute. I don't want to feel that way. And I think I've done enough work. I've been patient enough that I'd be okay. But the big decision of home ownership is thinking all these things out. And most people, like I say, and even me in the beginning, you're not ready. Because I think if you talk them out, you got to be very careful with home ownership. It's like almost having a baby. Now, the difference between home ownership and a baby is you can sell your house, you can't sell your baby. And you shouldn't, I know. So, difference between home ownership and marriage, and I compare the two, is, look, you can get a divorce, and, you probably lose money, but, now you can get a house. In most instances, you could probably sell and either break even or make a little money. When I owned a home, I bought it in 2003, I think, something like that, 2002 or 2003. I sold it in, 2017 or whatever. So for 7 years, during like 2006 to 2013 or something like that, something in that range, I was underwater. I owed more than the house could sell for. And that's a bad feeling because I knew I didn't want to live where I was living. Not because it was a bad area, it's a good area. But I didn't want to live in New Jersey anymore. And I wanted to live by the ocean. So, that's one thing I have in my favor now. So, and that's one thing you should talk out. It's like, is this a filler house? And you should also talk out, look, do you need to buy a house? You don't, you can rent. If it fits in your long-term things. Pluto, 99 super chat, sunglass face emoji. Let me read your comment, brother. He goes, brother, I agree. I should buy a car, but I will wait for a few months. I'm not mad at you. Till then, keep renting. I'm not mad at you. I'm so happy being a nomad, brother. Well, I love that. I love that you're happy. I love that. See, now we're starting to get in the summer months where the humidity picks up and my screen starts to zoom in when I touch it with my fingers. Pluto, you just went to California, I think within the last 6 months, right? So I could totally appreciate and respect and understand that for the first year in a new location, you want to have maximum flexibility because you really don't know the lay of the land. Even though you may know it better than you knew it 6 months ago. Even when I came back to Florida after coronavirus, I had already been in Florida for 2 years, basically. When I came back this past year, for the third year that now being, it's like I almost learned a couple new things about Florida. So it takes time to really know your location, to really know the ins and outs. And that's if you're really like driving around. And that's why I recommend Marcel, get a car, drive around. Don't be subject to Uber where you're only going to go where you need to go because you're not going to just want to tell Uber to drive around and spend money for nothing. So I recommend that you have a car, whether you're going to rent or buy it, and you drive around, explore. What did I do the other night with the live feed about Minecraft? Minecraft told us the meaning of life. The meaning of life, guys, is to build, explore, and survive. Okay. Obviously, the first thing you want to do in life, you want to survive, Even if you're depressed and mad, look, you're trying to just get through the day, right? So after you kind of got a hold on survival, then you have to figure out, then I think you should explore, because I don't think you should build until you've explored. Because why would you build somewhere if it's not really, you don't know all the areas you may or may not want to build? So survival first, explore two, and then three is build. And again, you necessarily don't have to build a house. You don't have to buy a house. You could just build your life in that area. And I'm considering that too. I'm considering, look, I never buy something. I just build my life around this area. But, if you're going to stay in a 30-mile radius or so, it's like, I don't know. One thing I like about Florida is there's enough campgrounds, there's enough outdoor stuff, there's enough landmass where you don't have to own, okay? I should say that's mainly regarding to my nomads. You can move around, okay? Now, again, if you got a Class A, again, if you're the type of person where you're going to be in your RV all day, then, yeah, you need to bunker down. I'm outside, 90% of the time or whatever, so, everyone's different. So, what I can tell you is this. You got to figure out your own life. Wendy, on top of renting a car, don't you still have to pay for full coverage insurance? Sounds very expensive. Yeah, I'll let Pluto speak to that. I don't know, Wendy. Good to see you, Wendy. Adam, good night, Sam. Great message. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, everyone. Sabrina, it was great to see you. Love to you, Sabrina. Maybe I'll see you one day in Hollywood. Dan, great to see you, brother. Shout out to the Palm Coast. Hawkeye, thank you, brother. Roberto, thank you, brother. Great to see you, Roberto. I don't see you here often either, man. Love to you. Marcel, so proud of you, man. I think you're going to do it. And I know I got fired up because I truly believe that to leave family behind, you're not leaving them, you're building your own life, is you have to explore. Because you grew up in an area where your family wanted to raise their family. But if you look at your family, chances are, they probably lived a different life than their parents. Everyone has a right to figure out their own life. If not, again, you shouldn't have been born. You should have been told since the day you were born, the only reason I had you is so you can take care of me, you can stay here till the day I die, you're my indentured servant. When I die and you're 50 and your life's almost over, then you can go do whatever you want. And if that's why they had you, to me, they're not family. They're your enemy. Yeah, that's right. So, what I want to tell you guys and girls is that even your parents want to be by themselves. And if they don't, they're not functional adults. And if they need medical assistance, then they need, and if they just had a seizure, if they just had a stroke, then that's different. I'm not talking about extreme circumstances. Okay. I am talking about in a general way of building your life, okay? But like I've often told you, you can't live in a state of emergency, whether you are the United States in a lockdown or whether you are whatever. And again, that's why I came to Florida. Because look, that's not why I came to Florida, but that's a benefit of being in Florida. I like that. Look, guys, they were open early. And now, but each state is different because there's different density populations, there's different outbreaks. I understand that. I know someone in New Jersey the other week got the coronavirus. They were sick as a dog for 3 weeks. So it's still out there. It's a real thing. And it fucks some people up. So, but just like the coronavirus, right? It's like everyone has to kind of figure out what they're willing to risk, Are you a high-risk person? Are you 80? Are you 60? Are you 40? But I don't believe that everyone stops doing everything. No. I believe that everyone gets the information, there's systems put in place for the most at-risk people, and you live your life. And that's it, and never buy a home by your family just for the sake of that. If you need to be by your family, go by your family. But most family situations I've seen are toxic, not healthy. And most people are not with their family, they're watching me. And there's a reason. And what I want to tell you is, never forget that reason. One thing I learned is that I have to live my own life. I'll be there if my mom ever needed me in an emergency, and I will always go visit her. But there's no value in not living my life just to be close to other people. They're going to keep living their life, and I'm going to keep being unhappy. And it's a vicious cycle of emotional abuse, of toxic fights, of just unpleasantries. And if someone dies, I don't want to say, well, I was around family just for the sake of being family, and the last memory you have is fighting with them and wishing death on them and all that shit. I don't want to be. Fuck that. You know what I mean? Fuck that. So, look, guys. There's no easy answers in life. The answers are, it's your life, okay, and you got to kind of figure it out yourself. And we're all on that journey. The good news is, look, life ain't gonna last that long. Sometimes life feels like it's lasting long. That's the bad news. Sometimes you're by yourself and you're going into the smoothie store and some psychopath jumps out their car and, gets in front of you at line. You say, why, how the fuck, where did he come from? And all of a sudden you're waiting online for someone who's indecisive. They don't know what smoothie they want. And in your heart, you felt like I was the next person that was supposed to go in that store. But somehow this psychopath jumped out of his car and now he's first in line. But I never have fear of missing out. Sometimes I curse God, but I never have fear of missing out. Because what I've learned as I get older is if I don't get the house, fuck it. Because I'd rather say that than overpay for a house and get nervous and say, fuck it. Why'd I do that? So, for me, I'm in no rush. I'm single, no kids. I could be by the beach without owning a home by the beach. I could fucking, rent. I don't need to build up. I don't have kids to leave my shit to. There'll be a raffle. I don't do free giveaways on YouTube are the biggest fucking scam, guys. You're getting fucking. It's like giving away a fucking cupcake at a bingo thing. It's fucking disaster. However, even though I'm never gonna give away shit on this channel, if I die, maybe. If I got no other one around, maybe we'll do a raffle and you guys can be in my will. Maybe. I don't make promises because I don't like to commit. And that's why I get nervous about buying a house. All right. Oh, back to live comments. We got a couple more. Oh, Tony's in here. We got a few people. Oh, damn. I was ranting. What was I talking about? There's a bunch of comments. Adam, I love you, brother. Pluto. At Wendy. Yes, you are correct. Insurance is, damn! Pluto, you paying $1,900 a month? Nah, that's a banana in the tailpipe, man. We love you. Damn, man. I'm not mad at you, though. It's below your means, but damn, $1,900 a month? But the alternative would be to rent a room for $1,300 cheapest monthly. Well, I will make this exception. If I had to choose between $1,900 a month to live in my car or $1,300 a month to live with someone else, I'll live in my car. I hate living with people. But I understand your point. Tony, tuning in late after work. Tony, love to you, brother. Shout out to Canada. I hope you had a good day. It was nice in Florida today, South Florida. It was about 78 degrees, low humidity. We're going to get back up to high humidity, high temps at the end of the week. But when you're in the 70s at the end of March and there's not a lot of humidity, it was a very pleasant, gorgeous day. It was gorgeous. Love to you, brother. It's springtime, though. Hang in there, man. Pluto. I'm just worried if I buy a car, it will put eyes on me as a nomad. What do you mean by that? Since I keep switching cars. Oh, I can understand that. Yeah. No, I mean, that's true. Look, when you buy, you're going to have the same car, the same license plate, and you're going to be identified. When you buy, you're also going to worry more about your car if it gets dinged or if it needs repairs. So buying definitely has some negatives. However, renting a car for $1,900 a month to me is a way big negative. Because basically, let's just round that up. You're spending $2,000 a month. In 6 months, that's $12,000. In a year, that's $24,000. In 1 year, you could have bought a new Prius. So, I don't think the risk reward is in your favor, but I understand you're less than a year in California. You want to keep your flexibility. You don't want to be identified, etc. But don't forget, too, you could buy a new car, a house, the car payment would be $500 a month, and you stay at a campground, and as a tent camper for $1,000 a month, and that's a nice campground, and you're only paying $1,500 a month. So if you're spending $1,900 a month, to me, there should be a lot of campgrounds in California too. I don't know the area you are. But I would just stay at a campground then if you're worried about being tagged. And get a new car and be a tent camper. Now, that's what I'm thinking. Check out the Thousand Trails Camping Pass, man. You'd be a tent camper with that. Roberto, I'm currently doing part-time nomad life. Oh, okay, part-time. I thought you were full-time. Love to you, Roberto. Do you have a dream to be a full-time nomad? If I buy a home base as an RV lot, that's what I'll be considered, a part-time nomad. I don't know if I'll actually use the RV on the home base to go up north in September and October. If I have a travel trailer, I doubt I want to tow something up the east coast of America. I'll probably just anchor it down. If I get a Class B or Class C, then yeah, I'll do it like that. But I would probably think I get a travel trailer. Tony, for me, single guy with no one to leave anything behind, renting for the win. That's a fair point. I still think that may happen. Buying a house is too much of an entanglement. Damn it, Tony. You fucking almost convinced me now not to buy, man. You ain't got to do a big sales pitch for me. That sounded pretty smart, man. Damn, I don't want to buy now that I read that comment. You right, Sabrina. I have taken the vaccine. Oh, did you? Did you do the 2 shots or 1? I was told eventually you will not be able to travel to other states without having a card. It's possible to show you have been vaccinated. Yeah, my mom is getting the second one next week. She's doing the 2-shot one. Will I get the vaccine? I'm not opposed to it. So when it's available to, people that aren't at risk, I would consider it. Yeah, I wouldn't be against it. I got other vaccines. I went to public school. So, Sabrina, though, didn't you already have the coronavirus? So if you had the coronavirus, don't you have the antibodies? Now, I do know some people, they had the coronavirus. They still want to get the vaccine. But I've heard that the vaccine is only going to be good for 6 months, and then you're going to need a booster. So I don't know what to believe. It's like, but I'm not against the vaccine. Again, I got vaccines for other things in my life. And look, bottom line is, guys, we're all going to die anyway. And if the government wanted to kill us, then why didn't they kill us with the coronavirus? And so it's like either the government wants to kill us with the coronavirus or the vaccine. But either way, guys, the government's got nuclear weapons. So if they want us fucking dead, we're dead. I don't know. It's all a scam. Wendy, right? If that works for you, cool. Wendy, any side effects, Sabrina? The first shot my mom got, she said she felt no side effects other than her arm was sore. But I heard the second shot is the one you got to be careful with. Wendy, my client is taking her first dose tomorrow. Okay. She's 92. Well, 92 is high risk. If I was elderly, I'd be taking that fucking vaccine like this, even though you're close to death anyway. She's still 92. Every day she gets through is like the grace of God. 92 is very old. I'm a little nervous for her. I'm nervous for her because she's 92. Shit. That's why I'm nervous. She's 92. You can get out your chair and break your hip and fucking have a hernia. Yeah, I'm nervous as hell. But family moving forward, I understand that. Love to you, Wendy. Thank you for your comments. Marcel, I feel you, man. My father had a very clear vision for me as a kid. No, I don't like that. He didn't want you to live your own life. He was overbearing. Yeah, I agree. Even though you love and respect him, I agree with you. And his first son, I had to boost his ego. I understand. I don't like it, but I respect him as much as you can. But again, I had to cut my father off. I was talking to a great guy today. He migrated to America from a different country, stand-up guy. And he basically had a fallout with his mother. And it's a sad thing, but I understand it. It's tough, man. I understand, guys. Look, sometimes that's what life is. Pluto, we ball in North Cali. I got to be South Cali, man. If I did have to come to California, I'm coming to Southern Cal. I got to be by the warm weather, guys. Can't be too cold for me. Pluto. Guys, don't forget, 70 degrees fucking cold front for me. Pluto. That's a good idea, Sammy. I will look into that. I don't even remember what I said. Oh, campgrounds. Yeah, definitely look into that, brother. Sabrina. I got the 2-shot one. Okay, that's what my mom got. I think that's the Moderna one, right, Sabrina? Yes, I had COVID. Yeah, I remember that. And I was against the shot. Were you? I didn't know that. But after being told about the possible travel issue, I decided to take it. Yeah, I think the risk reward was in your favor. No side effects other than sore arm. Yeah, that's what my mom said. Yeah, look, I think that's what I told my mom. She asked me, Sam, what do you think? I said, Ma, you're 70-something years old. You're overweight, you have diabetes. The risk reward is in your favor to get the vaccine. It's like, why would you risk getting it when you're in a high risk group? And just not to get the vaccine, to be scared to take it, it's not wise based on everything we know at this time. So just take it. Again, I may still take it, So again, I had to take vaccines to go to public school, just like every other person in America. Whether, I don't know, what is measles or polio, whatever the fuck it was. So, it's just part of life, guys. Again, will hundreds of years from now something be discovered that was wrong? Guys, in 100 years from now, we're all going to be dead anyway. Okay? So, again, 100 years ago in 1921, there was more horses on the road than cars. Okay? There was more children per marriage than there was Chick-fil-A's. Okay? However, that's why we got the baby boomers. And the baby boomers are dying. And now we got the baby doomers. No more babies, more robots, okay? More living by the ocean. The robots are going to do the work in the future, okay? And we shall go to the next level of humanity, where the only way you make a baby is in a tube, and you filter out predisposition things that would possibly put your child more at risk if you even decide to have a child. And we will be driving, okay, electric mini spaceships. Because before we go to Mars, guys, we're going to eliminate traffic in Miami, okay? So it's a whole new generation. Marcel, baby doomer in the house. Hey, guys, say it if you're proud. I'm a baby doomer. Yeah, no more babies. Damn it, I knew I'd find a way to get excited tonight. So, guys, I'm nervous about buying a house, but I'm very calm and happy about not having babies. I'll tell you that much right now. Yeah, thank God for no babies. So what I want to tell you is this, guys. We banged out another live feed. Okay. And for everyone who loves their family, you just spent an hour with me to get away from your family, and I understand that. Amen. What I want to tell you is this. Thank you to all my members. Thank you to everyone who watched. 83 people still watching after now. It's a blessing from the Lord. And remember, guys, we just take life one day at a time. Thank you again for everything. Peace.